You ever look at some companies and just wonder how they manage all that complexity, all those moving parts so smoothly?
Yeah, like they've got something special going on behind the scenes.
Exactly. Well, today we're diving into what might be one of those uh, secret weapons, IBM Maximo Scheduler.
Ah, Maximo Scheduler.
We're looking at a piece from Valueztech that really highlights it. Our mission here is to get a handle on how this tool, Maximo Scheduler, helps with the planning and scheduling side of things, especially for those, really critical assets.
Oh, okay. And what really grabs you first from that values tech source is this statement they make.
Which one?
They say planning and scheduling is one of the key areas for operational efficiency of organizations with high value assets.
Right. Not just important, but key.
Exactly, key.
Yeah.
It really puts the focus on how organizing work directly impacts, well, the bottom line for companies holding these big, expensive assets.
And Valueztech isn't talking about some minor tool here. They actually call Maximo Scheduler an industry leader in planning and scheduling space.
Which says a lot. That implies a certain robustness, effectiveness that a lot of organizations are banking on.
Definitely. So when we talk about these high-value assets, give us a sense, what kinds of things are we really looking at?
Oh, think big stuff. Heavy machinery in factories, planes for airlines, specialized gear in the energy sector. Basically, things where if they go down,
That's costly, really costly.
very costly, and efficient operation is just non-negotiable. Values Tech then goes on to talk about something interesting, the importance of a process flow diagram.
A flow diagram for using the software.
Yeah, for using the different applications within Maximo Scheduler. They even shared a sample, apparently.
Without seeing the actual diagram, it makes you wonder,
Yeah.
how does just visualizing a process flow help? Like, practically speaking.
Well, you can imagine, by mapping it all out, maybe they can spot the kinks in the system, the bottlenecks,
Okay, yeah.
and then maybe optimize how tasks are ordered, make sure the right people, the right tools, the materials, they're
Yeah.
all there exactly when needed.
So it's proactive, less scrambling, fewer surprises.
Precisely. Which could cut down that unplanned downtime we mentioned, and maybe even help the assets last longer.
That makes a lot of sense. A clear picture
Yeah.
stops things getting missed.
Yeah.
And Valueztech actually invited more discussion on this.
You
right?
did, yeah. Which suggests it's not simple. There's real depth there.
It does make you think about those smooth-running organizations again. Maybe this kind of really structured scheduling is part of their magic.
And what's really interesting is how a tool like this probably pulls together all sorts of data points,
Like what?
asset condition, who's available, past work orders, all that feeds into creating these optimized schedules. It's not just sticking tasks on a calendar.
Smarter than that.
Much smarter. It's about intelligent allocation, maybe even some prediction based on real-time info. And that connects back to you, the listener, wanting to grasp things quickly but also properly, understanding there's this intelligence underneath. It helps see the value.
Absolutely. And they mention organizations with high-value assets quite broadly. It's not just one or two industries.
Oh, no, not at all. The core idea is managing assets well, needing solid planning that's universal if you rely on physical stuff.
So fleets of trucks, power plants.
Pipelines, manufacturing lines.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you have significant physical assets, planning work and scheduling resources effectively, that's critical for efficiency and keeping costs down.
Okay, so wrapping up our look at the Valueztech piece.
Yeah.
The main point is Maximo Scheduler is seen as a top tool for improving how efficiently organizations with valuable assets operate.
Right, and it does that through structured planning and scheduling.
And that emphasis Valueztech put on the process flow diagram. It really highlights needing a clear, defined way to manage these complex systems.
Exactly. Which brings us to a final thought for you to chew on. Think about any assets, maybe at work, maybe even something you own personally. How could a more structured way of planning and scheduling around them change things? Like, what benefits jump out immediately when you think about really optimizing the workflow for those important resources?